What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team stand up! It may be May, but June is on the way. We got Jimmy High Roller! I never thought I would see this again. Check it out.
One of the best things that can happen to a young basketball player in their career is get compared to Michael Jordan. One of the worst things that can happen to a young player in their career is get compared to Michael Jordan. For every player that gets compared to MJ...
Bro, right off the bat, dog, like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, after 2024, y'all gotta really chill out with who y'all compare to Michael Jordan. Like, and I'm gonna even be upfront about it, and I even hate to say it. Like, I fuck with Ant Edwards heavy. He's like my top 8, top 10 favorite NBA player playing right now in the NBA. But, bro, like, he's nowhere near Michael Jordan's stat. And the way he plays, the only thing close enough he has, bro, he did the shrug, yes, I guess, and then the damn turnaround post fadeaway. But, bro, at the same time, bro, he just got into the league not even, 3 years ago. Like, let the bro play, you know what I'm saying? Like, let him develop into his, maximum capacity. And then, you know what I'm saying, if that's a possible comparison, then you throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, it's just it's further sometimes than just trying to compare somebody just off of 1 or 2 animations that you see, you know what I'm saying, them with playing throughout the game and stuff.
In the NBA.
And not even with just him, just with everything. It's just I feel like when people, that's just the most common thing to just throw out there. Like when they see somebody play really good basketball, they be like, oh, this is the next Jordan, this and that.
Fall a mile short and make the comparison seem blasphemous in the first place.
Exactly. And that's another thing. My bad. Last time pausing. But, one thing about this, too, is that, you kind of set people up for, huge, high expectations, which could ultimately lead to failure sometimes. Now, regardless of, there's very few NBA players that can, be, in the same room as Jordan when it's all said and done with the people that have compared him during that time frame. But, for the majority of people that they have said, bro, there's actually a Santa Claus list of, players that people thought was going to be the next Jordan, and it didn't end up that way. And then people roast them even 5 times harder when they're done in the league. So.
Is the latest player added to this list of hopeful Jordan successors. Only this time, it feels real. The memes and the jokes were funny at first, but now this is just getting uncanny. The highlights, the trash talking, the swagger, the charisma. Being compared to the best player to ever touch a basketball is an impossible task for any player to live up to. And yet, we can't help but to make the comparison. So, how similar is Anthony Edwards to a young Michael Jordan? Is this comparison even warranted, or is this gold standard still as unattainable and unrealistic as ever?
Hey, man, I want to see what he got to say, man, because I'll definitely be a convo. Another ad's coming
Today's Sports Players Youth 50 Kings in California was making a name for himself in the basketball world.
I need a W in the comments for W Skip. That was probably the best one on here.
As a junior in college, the kid was considered by some to be the best college basketball player in the country. And with his 6'5" all-in-one shooting guard package, it was only a matter of time before the infamous comparison to Michael Jordan was made. Later on, we would learn that despite his incredible skill set and Hall of Fame pedigree, the Michael Jordan comp was never really warranted. You might be familiar with this player. His name was Ray Allen. And looking back, outside of playing the same position...
See, bro, that's even crazy. I didn't even know that. I didn't even honestly get hip, to Ray Allen until about, 2005 season. I seen him a couple times with him and Rashard Lewis back in the days and stuff. But, bro, I didn't ever know what people was really trying to come... See, that's why y'all got to stop these comparisons. Bro, I guarantee you in about, 15 or 20 years, when people, they'll probably make, a huge list of people that was compared to Michael Jordan, bro. And you're going to have the next generation start trying to, literally flame players now in the same caliber that they was compared to. Bro, Ray Allen is literally in a whole ball field of his own, bro. That's even crazy people even thought that.
There wasn't much he and MJ had in common. But this wasn't the first, and surely not the last time a player...
I ain't gonna lie, Vince Carter, I did remember those rumors in the early 2000s. They was trying to compare that. Even still, I was arguing with niggas back, and they were like, bro, Vince Carter is his own player, bro. Michael Jordan is his own, Vince Carter is his own.
Received a Jordan comp. In 1986, Ron Harper might have been the first player to ever be called the next Michael Jordan. The closest Harper ever got to Jordan was playing with him. Harold Miner was compared heavily to Jordan coming out of USC in 1992. One season and a bad injury later, Miner would become a cautionary tale for anyone eager to dub a player as the next Michael Jordan.
Damn.
This did not stop people from dubbing players as the next Michael Jordan. In 1993, Penny Hardaway received the comp. The next year, it was Grant Hill. A couple years after that, it was Jerry Stackhouse.
No
In
way.
1997, Vince Carter was named the next Michael Jordan. And this time around, it actually felt...
He said, look at that old newspapers.
Vince Carter was named...
Hold on, I'll tell my kids how I play against Vince Carter, the next Michael Jordan.
the next Michael Jordan.
Yo,
and this
y'all
time
gotta
around,
just chill
it
with the
actually felt
comparisons.
like it might become a real thing. A 6'6" high-flying shooting guard out of North Carolina. That sounds awfully familiar. But despite putting together a Hall of Fame career, Vince Carter, just like every player that came before him, was in fact not the next Michael Jordan. Around the turn of the century, it was Kobe Bryant who was next up as Jordan's successor. Jordan was out of the NBA by now, and the league was in desperate search of a new poster child. Kobe Bryant came just in the nick of time. Kobe said he modeled his game after MJ, a statement that seemed like a far-fetched attempt to draw comparisons to the greatest player of all time from a 19-year-old kid. But with every passing season, Kobe hadn't just become like Mike. He became a carbon copy of Mike. 20 years later, Kobe Bryant built a legacy of his own, but he still remains the closest thing we have ever seen to Jordan. Since then, there's been a few more ill-advised...
I will say... That's a bright light. But anyway, I will say, out of all the comparisons, like out of as much as I have like came across and like felt like him known, I will say I feel like Kobe is the closest in terms of like the form, the animations, the game style, the rings and stuff like that. And then also, you gotta also look at the other impacts and influences too when you're thinking about comparing someone to Michael Jordan. Kobe has great selling shoes even still to this day. I don't remember. Did he have a clothing line like that? I don't know, but Jordan has a great shoe line. Obviously, people still wear J's to this day. You know what I'm saying? You compare it to the rings. I mean, if you want to, compare it to, the similar type of like teammates he's had throughout his entire. Now, I do feel like, I think in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan did struggle. He didn't win his first ring till like the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, right? So he did have his struggles with the teammates, and that's a great comparison too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Kobe he 100% had his struggles with his teammates. Come on, bro. Who remembers, bro, the Kwame Brown, Smush Parker days, bro. But bro, yeah, I think out of all the comparisons, that's definitely gotta be like the only person I feel like that is close enough that you can compare to MJ when you're winding down, boiling out to like, influences such as the clothing line, such as like, influences in like the basketball culture. In comparisons wise to Jordan, I think that's probably like the most logical answer. Players like, Curry, they're in a league of their own. Look, Curry's better than Jordan, you know what I'm saying? LeBron, he still needs a little bit more work, you know what I'm saying, to get better than Jordan. But when it's all said and done, LeBron is in a league of his own. Like LeBron is way different game styles. Even the same thing with Curry. Even though Curry's better than, Jordan, but they just got different game styles. If you want to compare the actual game style, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Kobe has that closest enough game style. You have that post, you have the dunk package. Even I forgot to throw in there. You know what I'm saying? The way to lead the team and shit like that. Like, yeah, bro. I think that has to be what it's all
Next,
said.
Michael Jordan's. LeBron has been compared to Michael to the extent that you can't say one of their names in a sentence without mentioning the other. Dwayne Wade generated Jordan comps after his championship run in 2006. But that's about it. After 2 decades of attempting to find the next Michael Jordan, the basketball world settled into the fact that maybe the next Michael Jordan didn't exist. And even worse, giving a young kid the comparison was almost a curse that would mentally handicap them from becoming their own player. After LeBron in the mid-2000s, it became this sort of unwritten rule to compare any player to Michael Jordan. Not only because it usually didn't make any sense, but because the track record of Jordan's successors was looking pretty bleak.
Damn, now thinking about it, I mean, at the same time, most of the players that they had comparisons to Jordan, they didn't necessarily get cursed, I feel like. No, because most of them are Hall of Famers and they're, you know what I'm saying, and they had great careers and stuff like that and have their own type of like impact and influence in the game and the basketball community, especially in its own way. But that's actually a thing that Jimmy High Roller is kind of saying when he was saying with his vocab words is actually interesting. Like, I feel like I wouldn't say it in the same ballpark, but I think comparing somebody to Michael Jordan sometimes, especially when they're just coming in and they're young in the league, bro, it's like in the same ball frame, I feel like, with the Madden curse. You know what I'm saying? If you ever look back at a track record of the Madden curse, it doesn't necessarily mean that player's career usually gets ended, but sometimes the season afterwards, it always has a quote-unquote alleged curse that the player, you know what I'm saying, doesn't play up to his high expectations, or they unfortunately get hurt, injured, and stuff, or they have some bad controversy or something. Hey, if I'm not gonna lie, I would actually like that. That's a fair argument. You know what I'm saying? If I see somebody coming into the NBA with heavy potential, bro, yo, the last thing you want to do is like be off the bat comparing to Michael Jordan. You should, I feel like, wait about 5 years and then you make that judgment and stuff, because like Jimmy Howard just said, you have like a mental thought in your head that, damn, like, I have to do this exact stats. I have to average these amount of points. I have to get these amount of steals and rebounds and assists this specific NBA season and this year when I'm in the league. And if I don't, then I'm a complete failure, even though you were like 2 more rebounds or points away from what he was averaging. And then now you're going to go around thinking that, you know what I'm saying, you're just nothing. And that can affect you going into the next season. You're going to feel like you're not going to, want to work hard. Hey, yeah, that's a fact right there, bro.
Oddly enough, most players who received the comp
interesting argument
didn't
video.
actually play or act or look or carry themselves like Mike. They were just really good, sort of, kind of like Mike. Which brings us to today, and this guy, who is the first player in about 15 years to be tagged with the infamous Next Michael Jordan label. I mean, come on. We all see it. The similarities are striking, but due to the history of this comparison, no one wanted to be the first to actually say it. But in the midst of the postseason run he is putting together right now, we're all thinking the same thing. Anthony Edwards reminds us of Michael Jordan. And this time, we don't need to be baited into this comparison or hastily rushed into it. Ant is shoving the comp into our faces every time he steps on the court. The high
Not gonna lie to y'all, man. Y'all gotta like end that convo, man. Like, let Anthony Edwards be his own player. He is a superstar. He's one of the faces of the NBA, but he is nowhere near Michael Jordan. He's only been in the league for 2 years. He hasn't won a ring. You know what I'm saying? He just got his first shoe line out and everything. I think it's doing pretty good. But Jordan had about 14 or 15 different seasons of, you know what I'm saying? And boy, this is the combo that I feel like people never want to start talking about, bro. And it does sound silly, but hear me out, bro. When you compare certain athletes and certain things, bro, it's sometimes further than just accolades of certain things, like the rings and the, you know what I'm saying, the type of wins you get and the points you average. Yes, it all boils down to that, but also you have to throw in the stuff like the sneakers and like how, you know, much of an impact it's had and, you know, shit like that, bro. Like,
overwhelming scoring barrage.
I'll be really throwing the facts down.
The cutthroat trash talk, the irrevocable confidence, even the commercials, the energy, the charisma. Where others seem to always be leaving 1 or 2 boxes unchecked, Anthony Edwards pretty much checks them all. Some fans are even saying he looks like MJ, which he doesn't, but for the sake of fun, we'll let them run. According to Chris Broussard, who reached out to Jordan earlier this season,
bro,
even Michael Jordan.
Oh, the news station shouted me out, you guys. Taking flight. Look at that, man. So inspirational.
And Anthony Edwards.
Well, I reached out to the GOAT today. Michael Jordan. Jordan said there are similarities in their games. He agreed. So Jordan said there's similarities. There's similarities.
Really? Man, I need a confirmed source if he said that then, bro. Because niggas can just be up there capping, bro. I don't even, bro. I mean, I'm not going to put up as anybody. Broussard may be personal friends with Jordan, but Jordan literally looks like he does not fuck with nobody in the community, bro. And I mean, you just look at the way he moves. You feel me? Like, it's not like something that it's like, not like something I'm making up. Like, literally, like, I don't know. Like, I'm just not going to believe Broussard.
There's similarities, all right?
I need to see him say
interviews
that.
Over the past year, Edwards has addressed the comparison, stating, although he can't deny it and he sees the similarities, he would rather it all just stop. But
that's a real nigga. He really said that? Edwards wants to, Sports Illustrated. So that's, you know, Sports Illustrated has been around since I was like 5. They're definitely a credible source. Yo, this is why you gotta have 5 times more respect for Edwards, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know, bro, this is a guy, yo, something special, man. Something special. That's all I gotta say. Like, seriously. He's the greatest of all time. I can't be compared. I'm like, come on, man.
Similarities, you would rather it all just stop. But when you're doing the things Ant is doing right now, how could we possibly help ourselves? Now, Edwards has only played in 18 career playoff games. Not enough to crack any all-time NBA postseason leaderboards. But we can see how Ant stacks up against MJ through his first 18 playoff games, where despite Ant being historically great, Michael Jordan is still in a completely different tier of his own. He scored more, rebounded more, made more assists. Pretty much every metric outside of shooting efficiency, Mike was on another level. Michael had a...
Trying to boil down these stats. You see, come on, it's... Yeah, bro. Like, what is the comparison? Stop it. I mean, the only difference is that the wins. But I've always said, bro, and if you don't think like you are, like how I'm about what I'm about to say, then you can't consider yourself a real elite hooper, bro. Look at this. 38 points per game in Michael Jordan's first 18 playoff games. And then you have Edwards, which is still good. 29 rounded up to 30. This is amazing. I'm not downing that whatsoever, so don't try to twist my words and shit. But, bro, 38 points or the 29 points per game. I've always said, still to this day, and I stand on it, I am the type of nigga that I'd rather motherfucking put up 40 points and lose the game versus having 15 points and 7 assists and 6 rebounds and win the game. 100% every single time. I will go the season, you know what I'm saying, completely 0-82. But if I'm averaging 40 a game, because why? You are going to be remembered in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You're going to be remembered in history. Nobody's going to remember the casual that's scoring 10 to 15 points, but you were a winner and you had about 8, 10 rings throughout your NBA. Congratulations. Congrats. No, nigga, I'm the one that's going to want to average 40 points per game. You're going to be the one that's always going to be in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be undebatable. So, like, what are we talking about? Anthony Edwards is in his own category. Michael Jordan is in his own category. There's no argument at all whatsoever. I'm happy. Shout out to Jimmy Harley putting these stats up. There's nothing else to debate right here. Are you taking a 40 points per game in your first playoffs or the 29 points per game? Or with the 29 points, you get more wins. There's no argument, bro. I'm taking the 40 points.
Probably led to him being required to do more on the court.
You know why? Also, too, what I left out, you have to think about basketball as a marketing thing and a business. At the end of the day, it is a business. With Jordan averaging these numbers, see, this is a conversation, bro, that niggas is not ready for, too, bro. Like, this is those types of numbers that's going to get him that mainstream type of brands and all that types of stuff. Edwards definitely is on his come up and everything with that too, and he definitely has it. I think he's with Adidas obviously and everything, and all types of other things. And he's gonna be getting a whole bunch more stuff with him progressing into the league. But bro, somebody coming into the NBA this first 2 years in your first 18 playoff games, you're putting up these numbers, bro. You are literally a damn walking icon to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were going to be hit with so much opportunity. See, I don't give a fuck about the damn wins at that point, bro. All right? So, I think I've won this conversation. There is nobody, bro, I want everybody to, bro, there's nobody that's going to be able to, like, top me what I just said about in this conversation. There's nobody. There's no way you're going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, like outdo me in the conversation. I was the only one with the right answer to this, the proper way to go about it. If you boil it down and think about it all the way. Oh, man, I spit way too many facts in this, man. Comment down below. What is y'all thinking about
There is
everything?
No denying that he is still the gold standard, even from the very beginning of his career. And this is where a lot of people get caught up in this whole comparison. Ant is incredible. He's what the NBA needs right now. But Michael Jordan was pretty unanimously the best player in the NBA by his third season. And by his fourth season, he had all player he needs right now. But Michael Jordan...
Glaze. Come on, bro. This is like the first NBA player busting out the double choker gold chains, bro. It's just an aura. And you mean to tell me, because I'm just finding out about this now, I obviously knew Jordan was, come on, like, just fucking Michael Jordan, but I did not know he was putting up 40 points per game. That means every single game, his first 18 playoff games, he had 40 points, not considering if he had like 50 and 60 like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's just, come on, the aura, bro. The aura's there, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? Instant shoe deal after that, instant face of the entire earth in the outer space. Like, come on, man. Gatorade deal. Like, bro, you cannot outdo that, dog. You can't even. How can you even compare somebody like that to that, bro? And I believe in the middle of that, too, we haven't also seen Anthony Edwards in a dunk contest yet. Anthony Edwards needs to go in a dunk contest, whether this year or the next 2 years. He definitely has to. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, what are we saying? And, bro, see, this is what makes me mad a little bit, bro. Remember when we was watching the All-Star game and Edwards was fucking around, you know, during that, bro? You see, that's a bad look. Michael Jordan looks down on shit like that, bro. And stuff like that, bro, like, yo, he would never do that back in the day, bro. You see, these are things that the Convos, nobody's ready for.
And by his fourth season, he had already made an all-defensive team, multiple All-NBA teams, one Defensive Player of the Year, and a league MVP.
Oh, we got some more stats for here, awards and accolades. So already, he's already won 3 All-NBA. Edwards only won 1. Michael Jordan, I didn't even know it. He had a Defensive Player of the Year, and he won the Rookie of the Year. Edwards didn't win the Rookie of the Year. He didn't have an all-defensive team thing. He made 4 All-Stars. I think Edwards is going to make every All-Star, though, by the end of his career. So I'll kind of leave that stat line out of Jordan having that 4-2 lead on an All-Stars. Because I think also he had the pandemic and shit, right? So, like, I think, yeah, all that. But anyway, scoring titles, bro, like, come on, bro. There's no comparison. Jordan won this.
Anthony Edwards is great, but he is projected to make an All-NBA team for the first time this year in his 4th season in the league. How could we possibly compare a young star who is just now ascending to superstar status to the greatest player of all time?
Exactly.
According to Basketball Reference's similarity score metric, the most similar player to Michael Jordan throughout NBA history was Oscar Robertson. But this metric...
Wow. Oh, who's also on this? Wow, Curry's on this list too. In terms of similarity for scores, guys, look at this list. You got Magic, Chris Paul? No, fucking wait, nah, I ain't gonna lie. These gotta be rigged. These gotta be a little bit off, bro. Let's be, bro, John Stockton. Come on, like, and people are probably gonna be like, how are you not gonna name? No, Jerry West, you gotta look up a stat. Jerry West, I believe, averaged like 30, 40 points in a couple of his NBA seasons. Like, and the crazy thing is, I didn't even find out until I was doing my top 100 NBA players of all time list, like 3 months ago. I didn't even find it out. But bro, now Jerry West, I can see why. James Harden, I mean, maybe that 2017 season, but even James Harden is questionable. Kobe stays in there. Gary Payton is crazy to put in there the similarity scores of Jordan, Reggie Miller, and then Curry obviously is, is the best one on this list and obviously better than Michael Jordan. He's the #1 player of all time right now in the NBA. But bro, no, this list is hilarious, bro. Bro, they got Chris Paul in the bro. That means you're gonna have you're gonna have somebody that has like no NBA knowledge in like 10 years go off of a list like this and then just be like, yo, well, CP3 was just like, on Jordan's level. You look at the similarity to the score, so nah, bro, yeah, they gotta change this up.
Only considers
and this is through, and if you look too, this is through 15 years. That's really like the best way to compare somebody because most average NBA players' career is about 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. Or it may be even lower when it comes to the pros. But, if you're in terms of compared to somebody that's an all-star or superstar, I feel like the right amount of years is 15 years. That's, bro, CP3 on Michael Jordan's level, bro. That people really thought that at one point?
And quality
that shit
of
is
a player's
insane.
career, not how they actually played or their skill set. If we refer to Crafted NBA's historical similarity app, which factors in everything a player does on the court, from their defense to their offense to their efficiency and creation and everything in between, the closest thing to Michael Jordan in year 4 was Clyde Drexler in 1988, followed by a bunch of Kobe and Dwayne Wade seasons.
Wow, that's interesting. They thought Clyde Drexler. I can't even see it. There's 2 different game styles. I mean, I never watched a Clyde Drexler highlight in my life. I only know Clyde Drexler. Obviously he's a Hall of Famer, but I only known him from first NBA Street, Volume 2. And then also from NBA 2K, my team. I thought Clyde Drexler was just a rim runner. He can shoot the 3 in mid-range. And then obviously, Kobe, I feel like still to this day is the closest to Michael Jordan. I can see why they would put T-Mac, but T-Mac, he had the injuries early season of his career and cut his career short, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer person in his own. Bro, Dwayne Wade is nowhere near on. Bro, he's not even in the same conversations as T-Mac and Kobe, bro, and Clyde Drexler even. Bro, they got Victor Oladipo on here, man. Who's making these lists?
In 1988,
you see this shit?
followed by a bunch of
Paul Pierce on here. Bro, they gotta have going on. Oh, they said it's season 2. Ron Harper, bro? Nigga, I only know Ron Harper from 2K My Team when he gave me like 20 duplicates and opening up packs. Bro, Victor Oladipo, they said in season 2018. Yo, y'all niggas gotta chill with these comparisons, bro. Paul Pierce after 2000. I know Paul Pierce, he had a couple of good seasons early 2000s, bro, but nigga is nowhere near. Bro, he doesn't even have the like body frame to even do a windmill dunk, I think. Dude, chill out.
Dwayne Wade seasons. If we limit our list of eligible candidates down to the pace and space era or the last 10 NBA seasons, then the most similar player to MJ is actually 2015 Jimmy Butler, followed by Oladipo in 2016.
They really got Jeremy, bro. I'm about to stop pausing, bro. Because, bro, they got smarter Marcus. All right, continue the video.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in 2020 and Bradley.
When does smarter, bro? He hasn't even made an All-Star team. They just comparing anybody to Michael Jordan, bro. It gotta be these. It gotta be niggas that just bored as hell on a Saturday morning, bro. Like, bro, nah. You really have smarter. I think they have Will Barfin in here too.
In 2018.
Who does he play for? I think the Pistons.
Anthony Edwards doesn't even crack this list until the 7th and 8th spots.
But they had Dion Waiters, bro.
With his 2022 and 2023 seasons.
That is funny.
So again, why now? And why him of all players to resurrect this next MJ tag? Well, because being good and even playing a similar game is just a sliver of what makes Anthony Edwards like Mike. In terms of play style, Ant is probably closer to a young Dwayne Wade than he is to Jordan.
You know what? I won't even lie. Now that he said that shit, I can't even unsee it as soon as he said that. That's actually a very great take, Jimmy Howard. No. That's actually a perfect comparison, bro. Finals Dwayne Wade. I was trying to slip off the back of my tongue. Bro, Finals Dwayne Wade of 2006, I think, is what Anthony Edwards' comparison is right now. That is a very perfect comparison.
Most fans are aware of this, but for a lot of
fans, you can also say, I think it was that 2008 season, whatever season Dwayne Wade hit that game winner on my damn Chicago Bulls with that Derrick Rose back in the day. I still have love for the Bulls. Warriors fans over here, you know what I'm saying? It's nice try trying to clip shit. You make sure you put that in there. Relax. But yeah, no, I remember, back in the day, like, big Derrick Rose fan. I was be like, hey, I'm gonna follow, watch the stuff, whatever team he goes to after he was at Memphis and stuff. But I remember that game. By the way, I got the free Heat games, on TV. You know what I'm saying, growing up in Florida back in the day. So yeah, I seen the full game and everything. That I think what was that, double overtime, right? Oh yeah, that hurt. But no, bro. That season, or you could say Dwayne Wade 2006 final season, is the perfect comparison for Edwards. Stop these Michael Jordan comparisons. You've seen the stats, bro. You've seen all the accolades, bro. Like, even like on the sneaker level, he's not even on the, what I'm saying, it can be in the same room as Michael Jordan.
Plays exactly like a young Michael Jordan. It's that he makes us feel the same way a young Michael Jordan made fans feel 35 years ago. He doesn't just put together crazy dunks, he electrifies the crowd and gets us on our feet. The kind of moments that leave you and your buddies buzzing about long after the game is over. He doesn't just take over games, he talks trash while he's doing it, and he's got a pretty solid track record of backing it up. He's not just a part of a winning team. At just 22 years old, he is leading a winning team. He's not just really good, he's hungry and he's driven, and his larger-than-life character and skill set and flair only grow larger in the biggest moments. Even off the court, his mannerisms, mentality, and personality have Jordan written all over it. Being incredible on the court isn't the defining factor that provokes MJ comps with Edwards. In fact, even before Ant was dropping jaws on a contending team, many scouts and analysts made note of how eerily similar Edwards was to a young Jordan, dating all the way back to 2021, and long before we knew he would be this special. Saying Anthony Edwards reminds us of Jordan isn't saying we think he's gonna win 6 titles or be the greatest player of all time. It's saying that we saw Michael Jordan play, and now we're seeing Anthony Edwards play, and the similarities are just staring us in the face. Now, one thing I know for certain, is that people who watched Michael Jordan play are the last people on earth to say anyone plays or resembles Jordan in any way. I mean, the guy is referred to as Black Jesus to some former players, for crying out loud. So even when former players begin to come out and rave about the similarities between him and Anthony Edwards, you can bet the comparison is as warranted as it's ever been. See, not every player that garnered a Michael Jordan comparison is similar to the next. There are players that play like Jordan, the footwork, the mid-range game, getting to the rim. There's players that act like Jordan, the psychotic competitors. There's the players that move like Jordan, the freak athletes. And then there's players who got compared to MJ for almost no other reason besides the fact that they were really good. There have been many players to fulfill 1, 2, maybe 3 of these attributes, but no one has ever quite lived up to all 4. Here's an overly complicated diagram of these proclaimed Jordan successors, which boxes they checked, and where they fell short. Players that acted like him, the freak athletes, players who were really good, and everything in between. Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, and Penny Hardaway got Jordan comparisons early on, but outside of
Come on, man, don't be comparing my dog Iverson, man, to motherfucking... Bro, like, he's literally in his own GameStop. People, with the fact that they even thought that, y'all are just crazy. And first of all, bro, come on, Iverson is not in the same category. Now shout out to SGA, Grant Hill, and Penny Hardaway. They are really good and Hall of Famers. But, bro, Iverson is literally in his own category. He's got to be. Where's the more, like, yeah, good freak athlete? Yeah, you got to be there.
Being really good, they didn't really have anything in common with MJ.
Or you could put them in everything.
Harold Miner, and Jerry Stackhouse played
they
like
got
Jordan,
DeMar
but
up there,
they weren't quite the freak athlete that Jordan was. On the other end, Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, and Ron Harper were freak athletes early in their careers, but that alone should have never been enough evidence to deem them the next Michael Jordan. But when you pair some of these attributes together, we'll start to find players who came closer to the Jordan comparison. LeBron, McGrady, Vince, Derrick Rose, and Len Bias were all freak athletes who were really good, but they didn't really play like Jordan, and they weren't psychotic with their approach on winning.
Oh, I just noticed they put
really
Len Bias in there too. Yeah, they had comparison in there before, you know what I'm saying, a tragedy and everything
Jordan,
happened.
And they weren't psychotic with their approach on winning. Kawhi Leonard plays like Jordan, and he's really good, but he's an emotional robot with a 29-inch vert. Which leaves us with 3 players really good, but weren't psychotic with their approach on winning. Kawhi Leonard plays like Jordan, and he's really good, but he's an emotional robot with a 29-inch vert.
Damn, you said an emotional robot?
Which leaves us with 3
That's
players
crazy, how rolling.
probably come
What did
closer
Kawhi
to
do
the
to
Jordan
you?
comp than anyone else since Jordan's departure from the league. Dwayne Wade, who had a fairly similar game to Jordan, was really good and was a freak athlete. And Kobe Bryant and Jimmy Butler, who play like Jordan, were and are really good respectively, and are both cutthroat competitors like Jordan was. But that's about as close as you're gonna get, because Jimmy Butler isn't a freak athlete, and neither was Kobe. In fact, Kobe was often praised for making the most of his abilities, despite not being nearly the athlete Jordan was. And amongst all of these players,
wait, what did they say
despite not being
what was Kobe's vert? He said he could be as strong as less 50. Let's see. Jordan probably had a 48-inch vert, and his hands were bigger. Wow.
Nearly the athlete Jordan was.
So they had the same vert.
All of these players and attributes, right now Anthony Edwards is probably right about here. He acts like Jordan, he's a freak athlete, and he's really good. But he doesn't really play all that much like Michael did. There's definitely flashes of a young MJ in his game, with his ability to play above the rim, blow past defenders with a lightning-quick first step, and of course the mind-melting posters. But just like everyone else that came before him, there are, of course, differences that separate Anthony Edwards from a young Michael Jordan. With that being said, these few differences aren't nearly enough to beat the allegations of similarities. Some people have mentioned that they never saw MJ play live, but watching Ant might be what it must have felt like. Fans that did watch MJ play testify that it was in fact just like this. With a generation of megastars entering the last stages of their careers, fans of the NBA have been speculating who the new face of the league might be, and there's a lot of great candidates. Maybe it's Tatum or Luka. It was looking like it might be Ja Morant for a moment, but the off-court issues have stunted that option.
Nah.
SGA put up
See,
a
that's
Jordan
another argument, too. People just forgot about Ja all of a sudden, bro. He got that injury in the end of the season. Hey, it's going to be a crazy nice matchup to see. I think that's going to be like the LeBron and Kobe, Ant versus Ja. Within these next couple of years, what is your guys' take on that one?
Stat line this year, so maybe
Or,
it's him.
what's some other point guards early 2000s I can really say?
Has been the best player in the league for the last few years, but I'm not sure if anyone would consider him the face of the NBA. Because being the face of the best basketball league in the world is about more than just being the best player in the league. You need charisma, marketability. You need to resonate with the
I was just saying that. Don't tell me I don't spit facts.
Together big moments and absurd highlights that inspire even non-NBA fans. We want to know that you love the game just as much as we do. Commercials and endorsements, candid and endearing interviews that connect with the fans, a no-excuse workhorse mentality with a superhuman set of skills to contrast it. Kobe Bryant only won one MVP in his 20-year career, but he was the face of the NBA for about a decade. LeBron carried the torch for the majority of some of our lives, and despite not being the best player in the world anymore, he's still probably the face of the league. Steph was as likable and relatable and inspiring as a superstar can get. A very unexpected but revered face of the NBA for many years. Anthony Edwards looks like
the number one player right now in all time, Jimmy
and lead the league into a new era. The kid's got the whole package. His team loves him, the league loves him, the fans love him. Maybe because he ignites us, inspires us, and reminds us of why we all love the game. But maybe it's also because he reminds us of a player who did all of those things years ago.
Hey, very, very interesting video. One of the actual argumentative, controversial taking ones, I feel like, in a minute, or one of them for Jimmy Howard. What do y'all think? I'm definitely interested in seeing y'all's takes down below.